Hello and welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina and today we are back at the Otis building and I wanted to share with you some of my top secrets that I think you might want to steal from this $1 million listing. I think it's really fun to go through a model home and we've been able to decorate this entire beautiful home and get it ready for the market. We've been working with Ty Pennington. Many of you know him from Trading Spaces, Extreme Home Makeover, HGTV, and we've been able to work alongside him to not only bring this penthouse to life, but also this entire building. It's got 8 homes with 2 retail areas and it's incredible. We're down in the historic Castleberry Hill area of Atlanta and it's just been amazing. And so getting to put together a $1 million+ home is a pretty special thing. And so when we're putting it together, we use some of our little tips and tricks to make it extra special, but of course we do that on a budget. And I thought it'd be really fun to share with you some of the ideas that I think you might want to steal from this listing. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on the upcoming videos. And if you're interested, you can actually go back and check out this entire playlist and see all the spaces and all the entire tour with all the links to all the items. It's all down in the show notes. Make sure you check it out. It really has been an absolute blast getting to do so much in this beautiful building. So let's jump into today's video. One of the things that I did throughout this entire space is that I used really big art. I think going big on your art really does create a very luxurious feel. And it doesn't mean that you have to spend a ton of money on it, but size, in this case, really does matter. So here you can see that we've created this massive, bold moment with our art. We've got art down the hallway as well. We've got big pieces throughout this room, and we've done that throughout the entire space because going big on your art really fills out the space. It makes a very big statement. It really sets the stage for the entire room, and art can be expensive. And so how do you get this look on a budget? Well, some of the things that we did, this is some of the artwork that I painted myself. If you watched the tour, you saw that Ty painted a lot of the art pieces as well. We just love, we're 2 peas in a pod when it comes to that. We love to be able to create our own artwork, and it's a great way to be able to save money. You can buy canvases on Amazon, use acrylic paints. A lot of times I use samples of other colors that I've tried out in rooms, and I'll just use those on my art pieces. You don't have to be a trained artist to be able to create abstract art, but it really can be pretty amazing and have a big effect. So this is one of the little tricks that I like to use. I also use artwork from places like Decenio. I shop at places like Home Goods. I'm really on the lookout for some big pieces because scaling up really does make that big of a difference, and it really creates boldness and drama in your space. And when you don't have a lot of money, you gotta make everything you put into your home really count, and this is an easy way of really setting the stage. It might really surprise you, but I think keeping your entire setting pared back actually creates more of a luxurious feel, which is really good if you're trying to work on a budget because it means you don't need as much stuff. And so this is something that I talk about all the time on my channel. I love minimal luxury because it really means that you don't need a lot, but what you do need is that the pieces that you choose to really shine and be bold and really create that entire vibe for your space. So I love to have beautiful pieces of furniture that have that really sculptural feel. I love to choose a larger lamp, and my accessories are usually a little bit bigger because then what happens is I don't need very much stuff to actually complete a room. I think that minimalism can actually be your best friend when you're trying to create a luxury look. Definitely choosing things that have a little bit more of a sculptural look will help you to have a pared back and yet magnificent kind of feel to your space. I think the materials that you also use are really important. Materials are a big part of this. It really is. And so I really love to use sateen finishes. In fact, today's video is actually sponsored by Brooklinen, and that's a perfect segue for them because the satin finish on their linens is so beautiful, and I can tell you, I have these at home and I absolutely love Brooklinen linens. They make, truly it is a luxury product and they cut out the middleman. So you're getting a luxury product at an affordable price, and it really is true. I love the fact that they're also based out of Brooklyn. It's one of my favorite things about this company, but I can tell you that the finishes on these really do make a difference. The fabrics that you use in your space really do matter. And so we wanted to create a hotel look, something that felt really clean and crisp, and yet here you've got the cream color paired with the white, and this look really gives a very luxurious feel. It's a little bit like getting to stay in a hotel, and you can create this look on a budget. In fact, they've even given me a discount code, so you can actually get it for even less. So check down below for the link to Brooklinen and get $20 off of any order over $100 using the code Valentina20 at checkout. You can also save with Brooklinen by bundling. It's one of my favorite little hacks for when you order from Brooklinen. If you go item by item, it's gonna cost you a lot more, but if you bundle, you can save a lot of money. So you'll get the pillowcases, the sheet set, and the duvet, and you'll get everything you need to dress your bed and really give it a very luxe look where you can do it for less, and it's wonderful. And you're really going to enjoy these linens. I can tell you from personal experience, they're lovely. I've got them in multiple colors. You can go crisp and you can go white. You can add a little bit of cream in there to give you a little bit of warmth. I think they're spectacular, and I think that you will love them. One of the things that I think really does matter is lighting your space, and at the moment, the sun is pouring in through these beautiful windows. It's almost the end of the day, and it's so bright in here, and it's so wonderful. I love it so much. But there you go, light your space, because in here we have natural light, and it's glorious during the day to have so much natural light. And one of the things that a lot of times I see that people do that downgrades a space is that they cover the windows up. They put lots of blinds on them. They put lots of curtains on them. Well, you don't necessarily need all of that. You might want to have a sheer, you might need a curtain, but you can pull them back during the day and let all of that light in. It really will make your home feel a lot more expensive and a lot more elevated, and that one is free. Now, if you also want to take it a next step further, I say that in the evening, make sure you turn on all the lamps and really light your space, because evening light with a lot of ambiance with your lighting can really make a space just feel a lot more elevated and sophisticated. Add a lamp and add some lighting, and it will take you a really long way. The other thing that I like to do is I like to fragrance my rooms. I really think that fragrance makes every space feel more elevated. If you watch the entire tour of this home, you know every room had its fragrance. I love it. I love when you just walk in a room and it just feels, I think that you really just feel a room when you walk in and you've got beautiful lighting, you have luxurious fabrics, and it smells amazing. It's like all the senses are awakened. And so candles really do make a huge difference. But fragrancing your room really is important. If you walk into a space, it can be the most beautiful thing in the world, and if it smells weird or smells off, you will immediately downgrade the space. So take advantage, really upgrade your space, and really help it to feel expensive by using an inexpensive little hack, and that's fragrance. I absolutely love to use white paint. I really think that white paint gives you a serenity in your space. It makes it feel really clean and modern, and that's the kind of luxury that I'm after. I think a lot of times rooms that are too colorful, that are too bright, a lot of times they just don't feel as sophisticated. It's not that you can't have a colorful and sophisticated palette, but for me, I really like the white. I know in this room you're seeing a lot of brick, but throughout this home we featured so many of the other rooms that were really white, and those white walls really do make such a difference. I think it really just helps it to feel crisp and clean, and I've talked throughout all the other tours about how to balance that sort of crispness with something that feels really cozy and inviting. And I think that sort of combination is where the approachable luxury really comes in. But I think that the white walls do make a big difference. And if the walls were a different color in this home, it would have a completely different feel. And that's why I find myself going back to white walls over and over and over. And I will leave also a link down below to, I have an entire palette of white paints that I've used and that I use in so many of my clients' homes. White paint really does make such a big difference, and it helps the space to, it feels like it does have a lot more light, and I think that's part of it. It really does just bounce light off of it. It gives you a crisp backdrop, and then you can add your cozy onto it. But without it being cozy in the first place, I feel like you're always in an uphill battle if you don't have that. The other thing that I like to do is that I like to use a bold palette. You guys have seen in the artwork, the finishes in this home, you've got everything from a nice black to that crisp white, and it really is a bold palette. I think it makes a big difference. I think that if you try to go too subtle, that everything just kind of disappears off of it and you just don't see what's really happening. You don't see the space as well. So for us, going with black windows, going with dark floors and white walls, going with the black fireplace, going with bold art, we've played up the spectrum of our palette in a lot of different ways, but it really does add a very luxurious feel. It's the things that you're choosing, and once you know your palette, you can stay within it and create luxury over and over and over. And then when you're at the store and you're trying to think about whether something will work in a space, is it gonna make it feel more elevated, you can look at it and decide, it's just not in my palette. And if you notice, if you've watched all the videos from this series, you'll see that we really did use a palette. We use soft grays, we use creamy beiges, we've got whites, we've got creamy whites, we've got stark whites, we've got stark black, we've got soft black. We've got stone, we've got texture. Palette is coming through in the linens, in the furniture, in the paint, and the upholstery. We've got brass, we've got wood, and all of these things come together to create something that feels very elevated, and ultimately it's about deciding on that palette. If you're a regular subscriber, you probably have already downloaded our House of Valentina palette. It's something that we like to give to you guys for free, but I'll leave a link for that down below as well if you're interested. It's just our palette. It's the way that we're able to create such a sophisticated look that really feels elevated, and we use it over and over and over in so many of our clients' homes. And our clients' homes are always unique. It's always done in a completely different way, but you can use that palette and decide if you want to focus more on the whites and the beiges. You can focus more on the really dark shades that are in that, go really dark gray, really dark blacks, and it's a palette. And so that's what's so fun about it, is you can take that palette and use it room by room to create something that's interesting and yet bold and feels so elegant, and really do love it. And yeah, I'll leave the link for you down below in the show notes if you haven't downloaded it already. It's a free PDF and you just click on the link. Finally, the one thing that I really like to do in every single space, you can see I've done it here, I love to create a focal point. I think that having a focal point really creates that drama in a space. It gives you something that tells you, it's almost like having a roadmap. I really love to have a focal point. I love for the eye to know exactly where it's supposed to look when you walk into a space. And so if you look at all the rooms that we've created, every single one of them has a focal point. It's something that really is the center stage of your space. In the kitchen, that's the hood. In this and the other bedroom, it's art. In fact, actually in the living room, in the loft upstairs, it was art up there as well that really just grabbed your eye. In the big family room, we've got that beautiful 2-story black fireplace. We've created a focal point. Art can help you, your furniture can help you, but ultimately having that thing that really draws your attention and grabs your eye and leads you into the space will really give you a very modern, sophisticated, and elevated look without having to spend a lot of money. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope it's loaded you up on lots of tips and tricks. I'll leave all the links for all the items I featured in today's video down below in the show notes. Also be sure to check out the link for Brooke Linen, because I think that you're going to absolutely love their linens, and I know I do. When it's the day to change my sheets, I'm like, oh, I don't want to give up the Brooke Linen sheets. So that's a good sign. I really do love it. To me, the ultimate luxury is living in your space, enjoying the space that you've been given, and just creating something that you just love. And when you walk in, it just sparks your joy and your happiness, and you just feel so alive in your space. And it's the space that you can feel all the spectrums of emotion. You can have all your parties, you can have your rest time, and it takes you through all of life. And to me, that is the ultimate definition of luxury and home. Make sure you hit subscribe, give the video a big thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments which one of these tips is your favorite, or if you have another tip that you'd like to share with us. We love hearing from you guys, and we always check the comments, and we just love to get to chat with you guys. It's so cool. And thank you again to Ty Pennington for the opportunity to be a part of creating this beautiful building and this home. It's such an honor to get to see House of Valentina and Ty Pennington. I just love it. It's a pretty cool moment, and I'm so delighted I got to share it with you guys. So thank you again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.